It's kind of funny seeing Chuck pull Alexi's chain, saying he complains about his boss. His boss makes him work 7 days a week, but Alexi, that he's his own boss. He's talking about himself. Hello. How's everybody doing out there? Peasant Chat, we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of things going on. Namely, some guy decided to build a dually no prep car. And I think in terms of rules, I think the car should be allowed to run. Basically, a notch. Looks like it's LS bullshit. But he ended up putting 4 tires in the back. Pretty much kind of like bending the rules a little bit. But should it be allowed in the all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive race, which is happening, and I'm not going to watch live. I'll just get not live, but I'm not going to, I am not going to literally give that shit too much attention. But it is interesting to talk about because about 10 or 20 of you sent me the video of this notch with 4 tires in the back getting down on the street. And, you know, you wonder if it'll be allowed to race. And technically it should be allowed to race because it fits both categories. But because of the name all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive, well, technically all of the wheels that are driving the car are in the rear. So it should be it should be allowed in the rear. Also, we'll show you guys one of the most egregious catfishing schemes I've ever seen in my life when it comes to a car chick photoshopping the shit out of her photos. And it wasn't like a tweak here or there. It was like a completely different person. It was actually really interesting to watch. And I'm going to make the comparison that modern no prep racing is no different than, I want to say, 60s era drag racing, where they had some pretty wild ideas and a lot of them actually stuck and became part of the normal racing culture. But we'll talk about that many more things, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It sucks, but PMAS does not suck. If you have a math-equipped vehicle, 11 to 23, you're going to go to Nick James and PMAS, and that's the only one you're going to buy. I don't care how good the other ones look. I don't care that they're dipped in some kind of hydrocarbon bullshit. At the end of the day, the signal sucks. It's less about looks, more about data. PMAS, Nick James. Don't Make Cookies, don'tmacgotcookies.com, the, cookie sponsor of the show. Check them out. They got a bunch of cookies to make you fat as fuck. But then, it'll give you an excuse to get back into the gym. So you can kind of do both. And look, a hot chick makes the cookies. Go check them out. They also have a video game coming out. The fuck's that all about? Unless the girl making the cookies is in the video games. That'll be interesting. DNAP Performance, DNAPperformance.com. The online parts house sponsor of the show. You're going to get yourself injectors, turbo kits, superchargers, wheels, tires, fuel systems, anything and everything you can get for your go fast goodies, carburetors, anything. Hashtag YDBT at checkout. You get a bit of a discount. Parts Farm, PartsFarm.com. Used Mustang, Camaro, Charger, Challenger, F-150 parts, panels, cranker pallets, complete drive systems, engines, transmissions, pedals, you name it. Check them out. I might be getting a peanut butter interior from that place if they have one come up for an S197. Two Auto Solution. Rami Zaran and Two Auto Solution in Puerto Rico, trying to get it going. He is one of those guys that's willing to do anything and everything, even deal with Dominican motherfuckers that don't really know how to communicate. He is the fuse to Auto Solution and Bellac Industries. That's right, Bellac Industries. If you want to let the cops in your area know that you sell drugs and you really don't care if they know or not, it's a good idea to get yourself a set of Bellacs. Apparently, some Chinese company made a fake set of Bellacs, and some guy in a BMW, which is now the modern worst racer owner on the planet. Every BMW guy, see, it used to be Honda guys, then Mustang guys, then Charger, Challenger guys, putting a big stupid cat next to your car, or on your car. Now it's BMW guys with their carbon bullshit burble tunes, and they wonder why their valves are pitted as fuck, and now they're putting on beadlocks the wrong way. Also, richprince.com/YDBT if you want to support the show so you can get some merchandise for the show. Not only do they have booty juice stickers, elote juice stickers, Dolo, and a bunch of other stuff, they have a bunch of shirts, Section Hate shirts and hoodies, YDBT hats, YDBT and Amory hats, Shiesties, Hush Money shirts and hoodies, ZR50 shirts and hoodies, Booty Juice shirts and hoodies, Elote Juice shirts and hoodies, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, GT350, 87 to 85 to 86, 87 to 93, Save the Manual shirts, 1320 videos, and F1320, YDBT and Amory vertical. Guys, good stuff. Hoodie season is coming, so I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of new hoodie collections. So be on the lookout for that. Let's say hi to the people here. We'll talk a little bit with the peasants and get after it. 9540, CPR Andrew, Clint Stroke, Nick Bilovesh, Frank Donahue, John Bonanno, Clean 93GT, Joshua Judd, G33, Camzilla, Joe Jackson, Diego, Cornelius Graley, who is doing, in my opinion, one of the smartest things you can do. If you want to become a tuner and you do not start tweaking on your own vehicle, do you really want to become a tuner? If you have access to the Lund files, start tweaking on your own car. Okay, start loading cam tunes, start loading flex tunes, start loading injector data, start fucking with math curves, start doing stuff. And then you will understand the flash process, how that change correlates with your vehicle. If you're not doing that, you're not really taking tuning seriously. EPA Black, Craig Walls, who finally ran threes in the 8th mile. We'll talk about that. Just remind me because I have a lot of things to talk about today. Joe Swift, Alexi B, EPA, Alexi B, Brooklyn Guy, Robo Style, 94 GT Ver, Clip Clop, Chuck Wazarinsky, Narda Mercado, Alexi B again getting played by Chuck. Brian, Blue Thunder, they just went back and forth for a while. Anthony Rafferty, Minibear Madman, 5-Ho, Gregory Upvich, Brooklyn Guy, Momods, 5-0, Stanley, Cody Kelly, Cody Lewis, WKRP, More Pews, More Booze, Carlos Bahena, Shake Weight Kyle, Joseph Leahy, and by the way, shout out to Killshot Racing, who on probably not the best, that tune that you're racing on and won on, probably needs tweaks because the nitrous file needed tweaks, so I wonder if the CJNA pump gas tune needed tweaks, but he won a class local to him, stick shift class. Congratulations to him. Boosted Raymond, the other Evan Smith, SVT, Dante LSX, E. Willis, CCW Fox, Phil Fez, Black Cobra, Autistic Spam, EPA again, beat the game, unlock the mystery cookie. Nice. Head Games Motorworks. What's up, brother? Did you figure anything out on the F-150 stuff? Really interested to see those results. Flyjock, Bryson Witt, Slick Vic, Revit Racing, Connor, Cornfed, Lewis, Chuck again, Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Let's start talking about it. Some guy decided to build a dually notch to enter the all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive shootout with Midnight and Cleetus. Now, does it look stupid? Absolutely. Does it work? Absolutely. So they did something pretty interesting. They actually did a couple of tests on a road, but they actually brought in another vehicle, what they call as control, meaning you have to pit it against a vehicle. This guy built that car. You got to put your 60-foot times up against a vehicle that is configured in a normal way. He's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring this car out and configure it just in its current configuration and see what its 60 foots. Obviously, I'm sure they have draggy data. They have all this stuff. And they just visually, look at the car and see what the deal is. And he goes, if this car gets down and it gets down the same as my dually gets down, then what I've done is all for naught. So after seeing that, you're like, it's about the same. It's about the same. But they go through this whole process of showing you the axles that they built, basically axle extensions. Could you imagine the amount of stress there is on that axle? Like, it has to be like adamantium axle, not these axles. I'm talking about the axles in the differential. If it's a 9-inch with like strange 40 spline, gun drilled, whatever the fucks, you're now extending that out like another 1.5 feet. And the outer edge. So the axial, or I want to say, what kind of load is that? It's not axial. It's not radial. It's probably radial. No, it's probably axial. I don't know. It's interesting. Both. Because you're extending out, so you're messing with the bearings and you're messing with the twist. So the splines and everything. So basically, he just kind of talks about, the trials and tribulations of building something like this. Look at how silly it looks. Yeah, silly. But you know what? Does it work? Should it be allowed in that contest? Well, the thing is, the way I thought about it is, it depends on how it's named. If it's all-wheel drive versus four-wheel drive, that probably, all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. So all wheels are driving the vehicle. Okay, so does that mean all-wheel drive means all four corners? Again, if you're not specific in the rule set, people like this exist and they bend the rules and you cannot keep them out of the competition. You have to let them in. They can literally put a steamroller at the back and things will be fine. So if you were to put four-wheel drive, you also have to let them in. If you say four-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive, you also have to let them in because there are four wheels in the back. So you go, okay, all-wheel drive doesn't mean all four corners because the wheels that are driving the vehicle are all in the rear. So it kind of fits both. So I think that was clever interpretation and bending of the rules. Someone is willing to do it, and you gotta kind of give them a shout out. So I'm kind of impressed as to who makes the wheel studs. I want to make the wheel studs and the axle company needs special shout outs because the studs somehow don't fly off the bitch. The axles seem to be holding up. I'm sure they took them apart and said, let's see what the fuck they look like after a couple of hits. So it'll be interesting to see if they allow it, number one. Number two, if it wins, will there be a bunch of red flags left and right? And number four, like you're starting to see a resurgence of what happened in the 60s. In the 60s, you saw some crazy stuff happen. In the 60s, they had this thing called, there was like a certain fuel. There was a car or there was a device that allowed basically a chemical reaction to spin a turbine to spin the differential. It was like turbonique or something like that. Listen to this. This is in the 60s technology. Again, basically rocket-fueled propelled differentials were a thing in the 60s.
Firms sold products like conventional turbochargers, microturbines ranging from 40 to 1000 horsepower at a weight of 55 kilograms, or a so-called drag axle.
So imagine you have a drag axle where right here you store the chemical fuel that then has a very low flash point, like 22C, and then you hit a button and it allows to mix in this chamber. The chamber then spins at, I don't know, bazillion RPMs, and and you can't stop it until it's out of fuel.
The drag axle means that there was a tiny turbine engine mounted on the rear solid axle. With a single push of a button, it was able to add 1300 horsepower to the rear wheels.
1300 horsepower, you cannot control, and you can only turn it off when you can't turn it off. It's whenever the fuel depletes.
Idea had an extremely narrow use and was basically good for drag strips. There was a 1955.
Yo, I'm telling you, these no prep guys, I am waiting for somebody to basically put some kind of chemical reaction at the bumper that does not propel the wheels, just pushes off of the line so that the prep isn't an issue and you're already propelled to 60 plus miles an hour. Then the engine takes over, like a high pressure compressed air system to push you off of the line instantly. Then the wheels take over. I guarantee if someone did that in a very scientific way, it'll be outlawed instantly.
A Beetle equipped with it and managed to run a quarter mile in 9.36 seconds at 168 miles per hour in 1965. Unlike a regular turbine engine, this device used a different fuel. While normally there is air forced into the turbine by a compressor, which then reacts with the injected fuel and ignites together, this motor runs on the propyl nitrate. In
propyl nitrate.
Turbonic's product lineup known as thermoline. Being a monopropellant, its advantage was that it was able to ignite without presence of atmospheric oxygen, as it has plenty of it in itself.
Okay, so basically a rocket fuel, thermalite, whatever the fuck it is, and it's on your axle. So it just reminded me that these guys are doing some pretty interesting stuff. And then I came across another Facebook video where a guy basically made an all-wheel drive, no prep car. Can you not pick the stupidest fucking music in history? Just pick normal, like AC/DC, Big Balls or something. This music is a awful, awful choice. Holy shit. Holy shit. I'm just gonna mute it. It's so bad. It's like the worst fucking music you could pick in history. There. Okay, cool. So some guy built an all-wheel drive thing with a big stupid wing in the back. And I'm so happy I am not in this genre. But I support the innovation. It's hillbilly bullshit. But it reminds me of shit that happened in the 60s. Again, in the 60s, this was happening. This was a thing. All-wheel drive, nitro, twin Hemi bullshit.
The sight of the showboat launching down the track was a spectacle that captivated audiences nationwide in the 60s, with all four tires smoking. The showboat seemed more like a billowing cloud of smoke than a dragster.
So yeah, this... it's the 60s. It's the 60s. So the no prep scene is 100% the 60s. Brian Loans, if you go to his channel, he actually documents all of this in a very good way with his soft, sweet voice and
followed the norms of the day minus one tire. This thing was completely and utterly wild and fast. On its first day at the track in January of 1963, with Jeff Johns driving, it went 877 at 177.84 miles an hour.
A go-kart with a Hemi supercharged something in the back. So, yeah, we're in that era. Enjoy it while it lasts. I'm waiting for somebody to... Timbaland instrumental copyright incoming. Yeah, good. I'll delete it. It was the worst. Whoever your social media guy was who thought that was cool, fire him today. Unless it's like, you know, a relative, and I guess you can't fire them. Awful. Just terrible. You want to turn people off. You want people to view your video. You don't want people to mute it. And by putting the stupidest sounding soundtrack I've ever heard, it just turned me off immediately. So we're now stuck in this era. I'm so happy I'm not in the no prep world. I'm not in Mud Butts 38. I'm not at War in the Woods. I'm not at Creek, Battle at the Creek and like Mosquito Bite 5. I'm so happy I have nothing to do with that. And finally, let's talk about the most egregious Photoshop I've ever seen in my life of a car chick. Car chicks are known to be lying whores, okay? Basically, they bang a guy that has a fast car. That guy builds them a car. They have a nice ass, so they get on social media. The boyfriend sees a way of getting free parts through her, so he whores her out to social media, blah, blah, blah. But this one was 100% on her. And I have never seen someone be so blatant about lying about their appearance that I had to show this. Yeah.
Content or things like that. But I found one profile that is so egregious, and the point of her content is to get popular in the car scene. And I found her photoshopping some photos, so I feel like this fits. Brandy Lee!
Oh my God, you too with your, I can't fast forward. I wish I could fast forward.
Two B's. Welcome to the show. This is Brandy Lee. She has 233,000 followers. Brandy Hauser. She's a race car driver, and a lot of what she posts centers around her looks. She even says it. In this one, she's saying,
right? Chick's hot. Look at her. Stupid tattoo, so that brings her down 3 points. So you're like, all right, this is a solid 7.
I got my mom's looks, my dad's attitude. And this one,
again, girls like this can get all the car parts. All the car parts. Obviously, you don't see her ass because her face is really pretty, but you'll see.
26 years between this photo and the other photo. It's a photo of her as a kid. Oh my God, I'm so blessed. But this all came across my desk because the other day she was tagged in a video. And even though she was tagged in the video, the person that sent it to me said, I think this is her, but I'm not quite sure. I'll let you guys be the judge.
I'm Brandy Hauser. I'm a race car driver.
Yo! What the fuck?
Get yourself some gold bras. Hi, it's Brandy Hauser, and I like needles in my neck, and I'm on offering something. And I'm on offering something.
I would never make fun of somebody for the way that they look.
So this is new. Literally misrepresenting yourself, like 100%. what do you think would happen, let's say, if you're a fan of Brandy Hauser's and you end up going to like one of her road race events or something like that, and you're like, man, this chick is so hot. She's so beautiful. Oh my God, I can't wait to see her. And then you're like, so where's Brandy? You must be the chick that changes her tires or checks her oil. Where's Brandy? You're like, I'm Brandy. And like, bitch, you're not this girl. Now, this is very common. Now, if you talk to women, this is what they'll say. Well, that's how she looks without makeup on. That's how, and women literally will look at you in the eye sockets and say, well, yeah, she looks bad without makeup. Full stop. You should have stopped that bad. Yeah, she looks bad. Many times. And when you date, you hear this all the time from women. Let's say, for instance, you're talking to your wife or girlfriend and she shows you a picture of somebody like a friend or something. If she's ugly, men are very straightforward. They're like, that bitch is ugly. And you're like, no, you should see her when she's made up. You should see her when she's made up. Well, then that's not her. I mean, if a guy's 5'8" and he wears elevator shoes, puts on a wig, puts on a, I don't know, faja, which is like a, I don't know, some kind of body compression device to make him look slimmer. Is that how he looks? Would women make fun of a guy who uses makeup, a wig, elevator shoes? Absolutely. Tomorrow they go, oh my God, that's not you, loser. You're really fat, short, and bald. And then when we go, yeah, those aren't your lips. Those aren't your, those aren't your eyelashes. That's not your hair. That's not your face. You don't look like that. Why do leggings go over your stomach? Explain to me like I'm retarded. They're not called guttings. They're called leggings. Or so why are you putting it up to your freaking chest? Compressing everything. Guys, I've seen some of the craziest things. So yeah, that happens. I think that was great to have him call her out. And it makes sense because these women that get off by accentuating one good looking thing. What happened to that girl that got all weird on me when I said that, oh look, every other post is her of her ass. Didn't she get pregnant and lost all of her sponsorships? I have no idea. I don't follow her, but somebody told me, yeah, she ended up getting pregnant and nobody gives a shit anymore. Congratulations, you ruined your meal ticket. But look, I blame the guys just as much. If you got a good looking girlfriend and you're out there whoring her out to the world for car parts or attention on your page, you're just as bad as the chicks doing it. You're literally that person. You're that guy, and you're inviting a bunch of weirdos to be up in her inbox. And all it takes is one weirdo that's slightly better looking than you, makes a little more money, and offers her a better life than you're currently offering her. She is gone. And I think, I forget the name, where women are always looking for the next best thing, where men are just happy where they're at. It's a thing. So yeah, we can talk about everything. 60s era thought process coming into no prep. Talk about my God, this crazy situation with this girl, lies about what she looks like. And what the fuck else was I talking about? I don't know. We'll talk about. Anyway, Craig Walls, by the way, I'm going to rant. You guys are probably not going to get much of a word in. A lot to talk about. Craig Walls ended up running 390. Hit me up on email, and I love that he does that. He hit me up, and he's like, hey, check it out, Alex. I entered my first LDR race. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think he said he entered his first LDR race at Cecil County Dragway, and the car ended up running. They have digital time slips over there. On the right, 102. Shit. Dude, 102. That must feel like a roller coaster when it first goes down. You're like, whoa, 399, 8th. And he let off. And remember what I told you guys? He let off at about the 8th and still went 6.66. And this car has gone 620, 6.1. So if he would have stayed in it, he wouldn't have gone 5. You know, a lot of you guys do some weird math, but it's nice to see Craig Walls getting after it. Beautiful 4-eye notch, single turbo, precision 1000 millimeter, whatever the hell's going on. So shout out to him. He ended up, running his first 390. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. 390 is like a 5-second, quarter mile car, depending on how you got it configured. But some people configure it for 8th, so it optimizes 8th, and quarter isn't that good. But then when you optimize quarter, your 8th isn't as good. It's like a 410, 412, 4.2 eighth, and then it ends up being like a 6.2, 6.1 quarter. So depending on what it's optimized for is what it'll run best at. So all that, wow, a lot of stuff to go on. Exactly, EPA, did you see that? That girl looked nothing like the person she was portraying. And you know, men, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's why men just go their own way. They don't even want to pursue, chase, whatever you want to call it. We're just tired. I'll be honest with you. When a man builds something and sticks in his own little world, that's the best feeling. If you got everything covered, feed yourself. You don't need a woman for anything except sex. That's when you have control, 100% control. But if you're one of those guys that doesn't want to clean, doesn't want to do his own shit, doesn't want to take care of his own situation, and you need a woman, she has power over you. So that becomes interesting. And women like this that obviously know she's ugly. She knows she's ugly. So she's like, all right, I'm going to post something else, a completely different person, so that I can get sponsorships. Don't you think if you as a sponsor sees a really pretty chick, you give her money, parts, attention, swag, whatever, shouldn't you ask for it back if you find out she's ugly as shit? I think so. I'd say, wait a minute. Because you're basically sponsoring a completely different person. I'm sorry, we were giving the money to the super hot chick, not the rag that ended up being the quote unquote super hot chick. That's why I hate Snapchat filters. Look, I was talking to a girl that I had known for a very long time back home. This was a while ago, in between the second and third relationship. And I'm like, man, this bitch is looking good. Damn. You know, we're talking to her. She was using Snapchat. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll use Snapchat. So I have to download Snapchat to talk to her, which is weird. But I'm like, oh, that's what the kids are doing nowadays. But she's like only 7 years younger than me, like 40. So we get on Snapchat, and this girl looks fantastic. And I'm like, wow, you're looking great. She goes, thanks. I go, wow, you were looking good. So I'm starting to like, hey, maybe this could work out if she looks like that, right? And then one day, I remember she kept the phone like right up to her face, right? Very close. And then one day she did one of these. Well, I'll do it in front of the camera. She was like this, and then she went like this. She looked to the right, and then looked back, and I saw the filter struggle to keep up with her face. The filter went, and I went, whoa. What the fuck happened? You know, just a quick blip, a glitch in the matrix, the cat reappearing. So I went, is that a filter? So I finished the conversation, and I started going through the Snapchat filters, and I'm like, boy, I look like a bitch on this one, you know? And I'm like, wait a minute. That's what she's using. There are filters that put an accentuation of eyeliner on your eyes. And the women are so stupid that when they put on sunglasses and use the beautifying filter, it puts the eyelashes on the sunglasses. And I'm like, so this is very common, extremely common with women. And if women are on social media constantly accentuating, tightening, widening, especially fitness influencers, but car chicks, you cannot believe any of these women on social media. They are lying about their looks. They're photoshopping their ass, because when you see them in person, how many times have you guys seen a chick in person that you thought was super hot? You follow her like a simp dumbass, and you see her at a track, and you're like, she look a little different. That booty isn't as big. The tits aren't as big. The cheeks aren't as rosy. She's actually kind of short and dumpy and troll looking. Hot chicks don't need cars. Hot chicks get wifed up by rich guys. Okay, if she's really that hot, I've never seen a hot chick drag race. I repeat, I have never seen a hot chick drag race. They are all rags. Same thing with guys. When was the last time a really fit, tall, super fucking alpha Chad was out there racing? Show me a super jacked 10 of a man racing. No! He's in Miami, boinking everyone he can on yachts. Shut the fuck up. Stupid. Filter had a misfire. Yes, the moment she turned to the right, the jaw appeared and it got fuzzy. And I went, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me do some investigation on this shit. And then I went to the Snapchat filter and I'm like, I'm hot. And I know what I look like. I get up every day. I'm a solid 6. A solid 6. So I'm like, all right, this is bullshit. So then once that shine wears off, you see the real, it's like when Neo saw the actual Matrix. Remember the scene at the end of Matrix 1 where Smith shoots him up against the wall and he comes back and he finishes him off? When he wakes up again, now he sees the world for what it is. That's exactly what I ended up seeing her as. I can't believe Jake is calling me. Jake, I'm doing a show. Every Sunday for 5 years, I do a show at this time. They all look like tow truck drivers. No offense to any tow truck drivers in the chat. When was the last time you saw a super hot chick tow truck driver? When women are that good looking, that is your value, your appearance. Women are born with their value. Genetically, they are pretty. What comes out of your mouth does not matter. No one looks at you and goes, well, let me learn something about cars from this. No, they go, you're pretty. I just want to see you. I just want to hear you say anything to be in your presence because you're pretty. Men have to establish their worth because men don't get anywhere unless they're loaded. They become good at business, and even good-looking men don't go anywhere. Remember that guy Callum Van Mulger or whatever the hell his name was? Super good-looking guy, super jacked, bodybuilder, tall, wanted to become an actor. That's all he was, just a big, dumb, good-looking guy. And he went nowhere, got on Smack, had a bit of a rough patch, but now he's making a bit of a comeback. And when women are pretty, they can make it to the top. When men are good-looking, they end up sucking dick in an alley for money because they have to establish themselves in business, become successful to access these hot chicks. Think about this. How much filtering do they do versus their personalities? Well, that's the thing. I proposed on Patreon that we should sponsor the ugliest car chick. I proposed on Patreon that we should put out some kind of application process where you, as a woman that actually races, that actually is successful at racing, works on her own shit. I'm sure you have a dad, a brother, or a husband, or a boyfriend that helps you. I have no issues with that. My issue is with when you have no talent but your ass or pretty face or rocking tits. You suck at racing, and your boyfriend, husband, whatever, uses you to get free car parts for the project. But if you're a chick that actually races, does it, and you don't whore your shit out and do OnlyFans or anything like that, I'd love for the Army to sponsor that person. You know, what if it's some drifter chick? Because we all know they're pretty fucking ragged out. I've never seen a good-looking car chick, let alone a drifter chick, because you're automatically put in the if she's really good-looking and into drifting, you're like, you probably got some kind of mishmash of STDs going on because good-looking girls don't race. Sorry, it's just a reality. And if you think you're a good-looking girl and you race, I have some bad news for you. You automatically are ugly because you race. Because I don't want my chick racing. I want my chick rubbing these shoulders, rubbing these feet. Can you make banana bread? No? Your value is 0. What goes in? Anyone on chat know if the map sensor? Here we go with the bullshit. Lifeless cow eyes when the matrix filter glitch. Do women not think we will see them outside of their filters? Jake may need you. I mean, it's Jake. Jake is the man. Fuck me. Fuck, you're right. God damn it. You're right. You're right. Well, let me call him. I'm calling on the. I won't put him on speaker. So let me see. Let me see what homeboy wants. I'll call him live. Come on, Jake. Dude. It is Jake, so I have to pick up for Jake. He probably wants me to go fishing with him. I'm like fifth on his list for fishing. He's like, well, this guy doesn't want to go fishing. This guy doesn't want to go fishing. Well, let me ask Alex if he wants to go fishing. Nah, he's not available. I guarantee he wanted me to go fishing with him. Because I'm not like the number one choice for anybody, to be honest with you. Because, I don't know, I just don't kiss your ass. I'm going to talk to you like a normal person. God damn it. I think she should be at least cute and actually has a brain and can think. I don't know, because if the Amory is going to sponsor, we sponsor Eric Vega, probably the ugliest chick I've ever seen, because he's a guy. So, we gave him almost $4,000. You better get there. You better get to Modnats. I better not see you say something like, oh, I got to babysit. We gave you $4,000. You better get there, and you better show up, and you better have an extra transmission, just in case. We all know the manual transmission world is it's tough to live in, especially in an event format. But I'd love for a application process where a woman is not that good looking, knows she's not that good looking, but she needs a little help with her racing program. And I would love the Amory to go through like a application process. We need to see her. She needs to make a video telling us about her car, stuff like that. I think that'd be cool. But it's to counteract the hot chick, or I'm gonna act like a hot chick. Look, I've seen girls that are literally rags in person on social media, and I'm like, I've seen you in person. You don't look like that. You look nothing like that. I can't believe you're thinking that that's the thing. And yes, not a filter glitch. She ended up, this girl that Coyote Kelly's talking about, she never showed me her face. Like, never did a video call, always said that she's successful and got all this money. Men don't care about your money. Men care about how pretty you are and how sweet you are and how supportive you are. It could be an Arby's waitress. It could be anyone. I don't care how much money you make. As a matter of fact, the more money you make, the more masculine you are, because you think you're in charge of shit because you make money. So we don't want that bullshit. Fishing in Florida is probably legit. It is legit, but I don't care about fishing. Fishing to me is not... The times I've gone fishing with Jake, I've almost died 3 times. Read the room. We're talking car chicks. Dude asks about a map sensor. He wants to know if you're still mad at him when he tried to help you with your engine. Bro, I was so pissed off. My girl is about to make homemade pizza from an Italian recipe. Definitely not Cuban pizza. Yeah, look, Cuban culture is I can't go out with it. She has to have American culture. But once I understood Cuban culture, I want nothing to do with Cuban culture. Be American. If you're Hispanic, that's cool. But have, American culture. But Hispanic with Cuban culture, I'm good with that shit. I heard that phone and voice mail clearly. Gotcha. I bet you none of us in this chat are number one by choice. Nah, he's going to call again. He's not going to call again. Jake has better 10s. Okay. EPS says, just an old-fashioned girl who's into racing for the right reasons. Don't call her the ugliest. I mean, she has to be into racing. She has to have some kind of race program, but she can't have a social media presence. If you're on meaning a social media presence when you're showing off your ass. Guys, how many, and you guys are liars. You guys right now, you are hypocrites. Why do I say that? I guarantee you follow a bunch of car chicks. You're in their DMs, you're in their mentions, or you're trying to mention her. Oh, maybe blah, blah, blah at this girl, and you try to hit her up. I see you guys do it with Cleetus all the time. I see you guys do it with Cleetus all the time. When you want his attention, people that follow this show, they're like, oh, at this, or at this factory, or at this guy. And I'm like, you fucking clown. Trying to get his attention like a bitch. The fuck out of here. Hypergamy is the word you're looking for, Alex. Yeah, let's look at hypergamy. Women are hypergamous. The social and economic behavior where a person dates or marries someone of a higher social status or wealth than themselves. So, for example, imagine this in the car world. Let's say you have a girlfriend and you're into Camaros. You have a Camaro that runs 1150s, and you go to a event, and she doesn't know much about the world, right? But she knows that, she supports your ventures and stuff like that. Let's say now you go to an event. Hey, honey, I want to go to Holly LS Fest. Okay, let's go together, honey, baby. Y'all go together. You go in your normal truck, normal trailer, get there, set up, and she's like, whoa, there are some heavy hitters here. So now what happens? She goes up and down the pits with you, and she's like, Jesus, look at that. Is that a Holly Haram? What is that? Oh, it's a Frankenstein. Whoa, what's that? That's a plasma, man. Plasma, man. How much is that? I think the intake alone is like $4,000. Oh my God. Right? Then she goes back to get you ready to make your runs, and she's like, I'm with a fucking loser. Look at these guys. These guys have newer Camaros. They got a lot of money. They got a lot of shit going on. And I'm with this fucking loser. So now she has been exposed to a bunch of car guys that have way more money than her man. Now, what do you think is going to happen when she gets home after the event? Do you think she looked at some of the cars and maybe, oh, maybe let me follow this guy. All of a sudden, she starts talking. She starts talking car stuff with you. Like, oh, well, did you see that? Didn't we see this guy at the track? Didn't we see that guy at the track? And then all of a sudden, she's following him, looking at the stories, seeing how much. Oh, and then the guy notices. The guy's like, yo, this bitch is watching my. Boom. Sends her a DM. Hey, what's up, baby? I see you're up on my shit. Does the eye thing, the eye emoji. I see you. I see you spotting my shit, honey. Yeah, your car's impressive. My boyfriend has a da-da-da. And here we go. The beginning of the end. She's like, I could do better than what I got going on. I have seen better stuff out there. I can do better. And the girlfriends always say the same thing to them. You could do better than him. Not that you love him, do you support him? You could do better than him. Women are hypergamous. Plain and simple. Men are hypergamous when it comes to cooking. How cute can you cook? Can you clean? Can you make me feel special? Yeah, I don't care if you work. I don't care if you work. A feminine woman with a good heart is worth everything. Good luck with that. That shit is over. KC526 is more. Phil Fez's speed. Will cooking be a part of the contest? Show me a woman with a program and no social media presence. Not motherfucking possible. I agree. Shit, I think I follow about 5 people across all social media platforms. I follow everyone and anyone that follows me. And someone that I want to bang. Hell nah, fuck that all car content. Hell nah, fuck all car content that isn't this channel. I unfollowed almost every girl I know because of the temptation. Alex basically wants a normal chick that has her self-respect. It doesn't have to be good looking. I'm talking about sponsoring or in real life? In real life, at this point, I just want to build more cars. Only one I used to follow was Lizzie Musey. Why? No offense. Why did you follow her? Like, answer yourself that question. As a car guy, we are feeding into their game. We are basically going, I'm going to follow you because you're hot. Not, do you know a lot about cars? Can you offer? No, I like seeing you bop around. Like, there are people that, what's her name now? She does drag and drives. Taylor, right? Do me a favor. Go on any drag and drive where she is attending and watch the guys lose their effing mind when she goes up. And it is simp after simp after simp after simp. Yeah, good job, yeah. She doesn't give a fuck about you, bro. She's going to go out with the Chad or the guy that has a big badass race program, not some guy on the chat saying, good job at this. Doesn't matter. No problem. I was reluctant to ask the question when I turned the live on, but I went for it anyway. Simple question, thought I would get a simple response. Yeah, you don't know the show pretty well. Hypergamy, or like us, Puerto Ricans call them una puta. Eye emoji, putting in work, exactly. I have a suspicion that was a big girl in disguise. Exactly, that eye emoji. Hey, I see you're checking out my shit. And here we go. Lady T is coming back now. They also get discounts on the shop labor for free parts. That chick was a Predator block with GT350 heads with makeup and a Gen 1 truck motor without makeup. So I don't blame them. I don't blame any woman for doing what they do in terms of car chicks showing their ass. Why? Because simps are out there. There's a reason OnlyFans models make a bazillion dollars. So back on the no prep stuff. Do you guys watch the no prep scene? Do you guys watch these races and go, I want to build that? Do you guys watch these guys have Billy Badass motors and have like the weirdest looking combos just to get down on no prep stuff? I'll be honest with you, I don't. I mentioned the four-wheel drive or the dually Mustang just because it came across on my feed and everyone is sending it to me. So I'm like, all right, something to talk about. But to be honest with you, I can't watch War in the Woods and be excited over it. I can't watch Name Your No Prep and be excited over it. Don't get me wrong, it's difficult and all this stuff, but so's pool. So's bowling. It's difficult. It's difficult to do. It's difficult to perfect. It's difficult to master. I don't care. I don't care. It's like such a turnoff to me. I'd rather watch tractor pulls. I'd rather watch 6 motors in on a tractor, 6 Hemi motors with alcohol blown, pull a tractor 300 feet or 100 feet, whatever the hell it is at 300 feet. I don't care. So when I saw that, I went, is that what they're doing now? But so a lot of people watch it. Are you guys way into it? And if you're way into it, why are you way into it? Because you like racing? Cool. Nothing wrong with that. I get it. Personally, I can't follow it because it just doesn't speak to me. Even regular racing doesn't speak to me. I just don't care. It's the culture. It's the betting. It's the, all the other stuff that I don't care about. Personally, I like building my own cars, setting goals for myself, going out there to a rental and achieving the goals, and then documenting the process so that maybe you can learn on some of my mistakes or victories or outcomes that you can apply to your vehicle. That's all. Like, full stop. That's all I care about. I don't care about competing against. No offense. Go look. Just do yourselves a favor. Go look at the people at no prep events. Just stop and go like this. Are they your peers? Are they people you hang out with? Are they people you want to hang out with? Are they people you want to rub elbows with? No? There is your answer. Not gonna lie, I followed Lizzie Music because of the bitch was fine as fuck. Don't say that. She rest in peace. Holy shit. Don't forget about Sarah in Tune. Sarah in Tune teaches me. Yep, it's a guy. According to her, she identifies as a female. I don't care. Sarah in Tune was a man. I don't know, pre-op, post-op, don't care. That's why I learn. When I watch Sarah in Tune, I go, Sarah wired up the whole car. Sarah painted this. Sarah put this together. I'm like, I don't know. But it's funny because it's a dude. It's a beta simp behavior. Follow any chick that isn't following and liking your shit first. Good morning, by the way, says Destroyer. Yusuf says, dropping a like, catch a replay later. UFC girls are in the same basket. UFC girls are men. Just masculine. UFC girls are masculine. So when we putting Phil's on LC, don't worry, talking about James, UFC has dimes. I'm dead honest. Any woman that's ever dated me can do better. If they stick around, it's because of me, not what I have. Exactly. Every girl that you end up with can always do better. But do they go, well, so can men technically, right? Let's say you're really good looking. Look, the 2 relationships ago, she was not the best looking girl. Not the best looking girl. But I liked her. Until I didn't. But did I say, okay, men always cheat down, right? Have you ever seen where women get mad at a guy because he cheated down? So would you be happy if he cheated up? Women get mad when men cheat down. We just want sex. Sex isn't emotional for us. It's just, we're cheating down. We'll get anyone. Boom, but see you later, But women go, I can't believe he cheated on me with that. And I go, okay, but what if he cheated on you with Sofia Vergara? Well, then I wouldn't have minded at all, and I would have stuck around. Said no woman ever in history. Fuck out of here. Tractor pulling is pretty cool. It is. I'd rather watch tractor pulling than no prep racing. Sometimes I watch you racing to check the pulse of the people's build. I'm hitting that point where no prep kind of giving me the ick. Cars are looking retarded. The people are even worse. And I like the chassis tuning challenge behind it, but that's about it. Right. But Killshot, let's say you want to do that on your own without competing against other people. And you can be happy at your own pace. The problem with competing is you are then forced to do what they're doing because they're gaining an advantage. Even if you have to put 6 wheels behind, even if you have to have 6 tires at the back of your rear-wheel drive car. Are we doing that? Like, is that what we're doing? Are we just going to start shoving extra tires in the back of stuff? If that's the case, cool. I have nothing to do with that. I'd rather watch tractor pulls than no prep. There's always some stupid drama that happens during a no prep event. It's hillbilly stuff. We all know it's hillbilly stuff. Do you go, again, I look at no prep exactly like I look at Mud Butts 38. Let me go to a mud pit with my side-by-side that probably costs $30,000. My truck build, my mud truck that costs $150,000 to build, to get it full of mud, stuck, yanked out with a sling, broken axles, broken parts, and then the ugliest, well, no, some of these chicks are pretty hot, but you can tell they're whores, are there just getting muddy. Disgusting. I'm good. I'm late. Start over. Puerto Rican, Mr. Clean. That's funny. Nothing worse than those chicks talking mad shit about how fast they are in a car that their man or dad built. That's a great point, Nardi. Do you imagine a girl talking smack and she had absolutely nothing to do with the build except her ass on Instagram? It's like the lady back on Speed TV, the one with the deep voice. She was knowledgeable, aka a bro. Which one? R&D Diesel, which one are you talking about? Speed TV? Which girl are you talking about? Rocco's Yellow says, my wife's great, makes her own money, holds down the house and kids. Keep the food cooking all day. Doesn't say anything if I want to go out racing with the boys. Keep looking, fellas. They're out there. No, they're not. It's over. The ones that are still around are not in this country. I repeat, the ones that are still real ass chicks are not in the United States. The moment they get an Instagram account, it's over. Miss Maverick is another. I don't know her, so I'm not gonna talk about her. But if I see her ass more than I see their cars, you go, okay, whatever. We all know what's going on. The hotter, the more insecure. 9 out of 10. Arnold Schwarzenegger, point game match. They feel the need to compete. If you cheat with someone hotter, it makes them better. Yeah, no. At the end of the day, it's about an end result, not about a better girl. See, women think a better. It's the dating channel all of a sudden. Let's say you're a car guy. And you got it all figured out. Got your own money, got a business, a side hustle, or a good job. And your car is fast. And your chick is a 7. But she doesn't have the best personality, kind of a pain in the ass, kind of gripes all the time when you want to go racing with the boys. He'll date a 5 that's 100% supportive of the program. Am I wrong? He will date a 5 that is 100% supportive of his program. And if she cooks better than you, I don't care about her looks. I'll date a girl that's a 5 or a 6 that cooks great, 100% supportive, shoulders rub, feet rub, all this stuff. I'm going to do my thing. But the moment I did, like the last girl I did was very attractive. And I'm like, yeah, this is just a matter of time before one of her friends starts putting stuff in her ear and boop, and it goes away. And that's exactly what happened. I'm just like, okay, good luck with that. The chassis suspension tuning is cool, but I still can't stand the no prep. At this point, it's the only thing that seems to get enough people at the track to keep them open. I agree. And that's why I think racing is dead. I think racing is dead if no prep is what keeps tracks open with topside racing. Because what's to say you even need a track at all? You need a street. Tortas cook better and give better head. Whoa. Might as well have 2 rear drive axles. Don't give them ideas, Jacob Brandenberry. Because if they do this is next. Where is it? There it is. Yep. This is the future of no prep racing, guys. Bet me. There will be a 6x6 stupid thing like this. No prep, guys. And what's to stop them from doing it? What's to stop somebody from building a 4-wheel drive, but at the back? So technically, not only is it all-wheel drive and rear wheel drive because you just select, you got 4-wheel driving at the back. And if you want 2 in the front. So imagine you make a light enough truck that is 6x6. Light enough. I get it. This is a big, stupid, dumb thing. But let's say you make something light enough with, I don't know, 4 26-inch slicks. That's the future. That's the future. Watch someone do it. Alex Taylor ain't great. Then she opens her mouth. Says Paul Sachs. Kills Outrage says, that's the truth. Definitely hard to have normal looking car and be competitive. There's always some hacked up clown show fox body in every class. It's obnoxious. To the chick that just drives, point, how do we feel about people jockeying cars? Let's stay on point. You're right. She's not from the U.S. Exactly. Women that are traditional are not in the U.S. Plain and simple. They're gone. They get an Instagram account. They have access to a bunch of dudes, and they constantly hop on dicks all the way up to as high as that they can go. Then, I'm seeing it in person. They hit 40, and men don't care anymore. Oh, you're 40. Get out of here. I'm going to go out with the 25-year-old. The Asian women still have their values. Oh, Alex can open her mouth all right. Can you please do your JJ the Boss impression? You know what? You know what's funny about people that do this? People like that do this make me laugh. Imagine you know a guy that has a routine and he's just kind of doing it. And he's like, hey, do that thing that I like. Do it. Do that thing. Hey, man, I'm having dinner. Yeah, but I want to laugh. Do that thing again that made me laugh that one time. Polish women are definitely up there. Nope. They're Slavic. Like no personality. They're like nothing. Kind of overdating at this point, and these apps are jokes. Everywhere I've matched with ask for money right out the gate. Gotta stop you there, Alex. 5s are still attractive. They're just average, which is fine. Hate women that feel insulted being a 5. Like I said, I'd go, okay. A 10 that doesn't cook or a 5 that cooks. Beauty is more important than what they do. Sorry. No prep and donk racing. Yeah. So donk racing is something I also don't like. I went to Palm Beach International Raceway. I saw a donk race, and it took them 20 minutes to stage. Everyone's talking, looking at the car, and then just yelling. It's wrestling. It's wrestling. It's yelling, screaming for the camera for 20 minutes when you actually see a 8-second race. And you're like, this is stupid. Guy does a burnout, backs up, does another burnout, backs up, depletes his nitrous bottle, then goes up there and spins. I go, I can't believe I actually stuck around to watch that shit. I think she was on the GT Academy show on Speed. GT Academy? GT Academy host woman? Images? Kristen Adams? Yeah, I don't know who the fuck this is. I've never seen that shit in my life. Fucking dually, no prep cars for real. You'll see it. You will see dual axle because they're going to say this. We're going to outlaw for safety reasons. We're going to outlaw. Oh, you're going to see it. For safety reasons, we're going to outlaw dually cars that have a tire sticking out of the fender. Let's talk about it. Let's say you go to a no prep race that has all these. Name the sanctioning body that regulates no prep racing. Go. There is none, right? There is no sanctioning body that regulates no prep racing. Exactly. Flip your hat. Dance for me. Exactly. So there is no sanctioning body. What's it going to take for this stuff to calm the fuck down? Unfortunately, somebody dying at one of these events. Unfortunately. It's going to take a tire that's out here, snap an axle, and the tire goes into Bolivian, and it smokes someone. And then people are going to be like, okay, stop. Who's the sanctioning body? Where's the safety equipment? Because do you got to have certified cages for these events? Do you got to have certified chassis build? Do you got to have any kind of certification? I get it. You got to have safety equipment, right? But the exterior of the car generally doesn't call out for any safety equipment stuff. Like even NHRA had some weird law or rule about tethering. Like the body panels, when a blower explodes, usually the body flies out. And there have been issues at some tracks where body panels and things fly out and people get hurt in the stands. That's why you'll never see me up at the line. I'm blown away where people are up at the line watching a car launch. All you need is a drive shaft or turbo wheel, something to zoop, fly out the bitch, and there's a problem. So NHRA has this tethering situation where if it blows up, it stays together. But now that caused another issue because a guy went down the track with the new tethers in place, and when the body blew up, he couldn't see shit. He goes, before the body flies out and I see everything. But then the tethers kick in and I don't see a goddamn thing. I just see like a body all twisted up. I'm like, yeah, at that point you just slam on the brake. Dude pulling the front wheels up the 8th mile in no prep. Donks and graduation, the only place you can knock the tire off, back up, and make another hit 40 minutes in one pass. Are you sure that's the reason you don't like donk racing, Alex? Most of the guys donk racing here, just to let you know, are white guys. Best bet is track rental, pay the fee, race all day, go home, live a happy life. Absolutely. 26s and tailpipes. We already saw that NOS explosion at War in the Woods, right? No, that was at, what's that track in Texas? Yellow Belly. Can't imagine racing on bicycle tires. Wheels with IndyCar style tethering, somebody going to end up with the skid marks on their neck before they stop. You have those events where there are like 100 people at the staging lane or dudes right by the rear tire filming when they launch. There is a thing called a tripod. You get a tripod, right? You before the guy stages, you get your camera on a tripod and you place it where you want. You hit start and you walk away. Then with your cell phone, you film the pass. So get yourself a little $200 camera like this. Set it up on a tripod. Hit start. Now you can see this thing, whatever suspension change you need, but then you can see the car go down the track. No, I am blown away that there are people right by the rear tire that's about to spin a push a 3,000-pound car that makes 2,000 horsepower, spooled up to 5,000 RPMs. Yeah, that's real smart. Real smart. Need to pull up that video of the Camaro blowing up at the starting line. Tired of seeing all these diesel HP comps where the truck exploded on every pole. Exactly. That's another thing that I am blown away by people that do this, and they're like, it's like watching NASCAR back in the 80s and 90s. The only reason I watched NASCAR back in the 80s and 90s was to watch a crash. But then somebody actually died. And multiple people have died in car accidents, but that's part of the game, I guess. But like, now the cars are so safe that you could literally watch a crash that's really bad. But I don't know. I think when it comes to the no prep stuff, there's no sanctioning body. And maybe that's what they like. The only way that I think no prep can, it's super popular because it's outlaw stuff. So yeah, I don't understand that. Truck, diesel, dyno explosion. At least the guy, though, operating the dyno wears the complete safety stuff, right? Like he's all buttoned up. Yeah, I'll pass on that. Like, anyone within 100 feet could have died, right? And my favorite are the people that sit behind the wheel. And remember, guys, I worked for VMP for 2 years, and I went all over the country with their portable dyno, and I saw people staring at the tire on the roller, just staring at it. So I used to care. I used to say, hey, man, you might not want to be there. Why? I don't know if this tire is dry rotted. What if a mechanical issue happens? What if it flings apart and you end up dying? And they're like, well, I don't think it's a big deal. And then I just didn't care. I went, you know what? If something flies off the bitch, that's on you. And I would get in the car and I go, if you're going to be back there and shit flies off and you die, it ain't on me. And all of a sudden they started to move. Industrial injection explosion and DH performance explosions were stupid. Like the people who stand behind a chassis dyno. Yes, there have been people that have died when a turbo wheel flies off and kills a dude. These things are beating up the valves, the turbine, everything. They're on the two-step. And they wonder why they're, why now they require cross bolts on a turbo so that it doesn't fly out. It's to protect the people. I'm blown away. Trustworthy Salesman says, question, do we know when the fall off happened? When racing and meets just turn into more trouble than it's worth. Meets are whack, street racing is gay, and the track is hit or miss. Was it COVID? Okay, I wasn't a big popular street racer, but I street raced. Still do, but not organized. Organic. Like you go for a cruise and you see a R8, Lambo, GTR, BMW, Mustang, Camaro, and you're like, oh. But it wasn't like, let's meet, let's hang out. I don't know. I think whatever caused, so clout was the thing that caused people to want to do something. So technically you could say social media. Technically you could say followers. Technically you could say the amount of followers. When you started seeing people followed people to see what they would do next, people would then clout chase. Literally going out of their way to do something stupid to get followers. So that's why I think a lot of these YouTube videos, they're like, I blew up my motor. And it's like, blown engine. And they put it in capital letters. It blew up. And then the guy's like this in the thumbnail. And you're like, I want to click that. I never want to click that. The moment I see it blew up, what's next? Look at what's happening right now with, Is the Cleetus channel a net positive for racing? Answer that question, chat. I'll put up a poll. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. A net. I'd just say a positive. A positive. Positive. Wow, Alex, learn how to spell. For racing. Yes, no. Start poll. Okay, let's start there. Let's take the temperature of the audience. FYI, Kyle Morris just blew up his Mustang motor. Oh, just like Dad, right? Just like Dad. So, if you think Cleetus is a positive for racing, then you subscribe to Goofy Builds. Now he's having other people build legitimate stuff. But you subscribe to Goofy Builds, Redneck Culture. And remember, guys, he is a rich dude. Was rich before got into his channel stuff. I think his parents owned Jimmy John's restaurants all over the place. Rumor, I don't know. But I think we've done research on this on Patreon. Rich. Then a video surfaces of him acting like a dumb hick. Remember, listen. Acting like a hick. People were like, oh, that's cool. And I went, okay. So a rich guy acting like a dumb hick goes and finds, with 1320 video pushing it, that there is a whole car culture that wants to see a rich guy that acts like a dumb hick do car stuff. Okay. So he goes out there and says, oh my God, people want to see me do dumb car hick stuff. So what do dumb car hick guys do? They do dumb stuff. So he starts, leaning into that culture. So let's give you other examples, right? Let's say, guys, guy, let's say there's a black guy, and he comes from a well-educated family, really, really super educated, just good stuff. And then one day he starts making, stereotypical videos, accentuating the negatives of a certain culture. And then people are like, oh, we like that. And then he leans into that culture. What would you think of that person when you find out that they're not from that culture? So you're like, oh, okay. So when I started seeing that, I'm like, but the dude, okay, whatever, cool. Like, whatever, it's your shtick, nothing wrong with that. But how has that influenced the racing culture? Has it been a positive? Have you seen, so now what you see on YouTube and car stuff is him just being tagged everywhere because people try to emulate him. So when you ask me, what caused this? What is the reason the car culture is whack shit? What's the reason the car culture is whack shit? It's not a coincidence that it happened around the time of that fake culture being accentuated. The hillbilly, dumb redneck, skeedle-a-deedle, mountain derpin, mountain dupin, mountain eagles, bald eagles, stupid. You wonder why the car culture is shit. Well, because of that. Or at least that the thought process of I'm not saying he caused it. I'm saying people leaned into that culture because they thought it was funny or whatever. But now those people have grown up. And they're like, oh, do I even want to do this anymore? Interesting. He's rich as fuck from family money. I know. You hit yes by mistake, didn't you, EPA? It blew up, but only shredded the belt. Okay. I think Cleetus brought in a lot of people, but they were a bunch of young, dumb morons. Exactly. No one at those prep is properly equipped to deal with an invisible methanol fire. Cleetus got rich off of acting like how I live, says Kyle Bersuza. He's an actor, acts like his dumb fans. That's funny. How do you feel about Whistling Diesel versus Cleetus? See, I prefer Whistling Diesel because Whistling Diesel goes out of his way to break shit. So he basically became kind of like a product reviewer, for lack of a better word, inadvertently. And he loves to get hate. Like he'll buy the nicest Power Stroke diesel equipped lifted truck ever and he'll destroy it. Whatever your favorite car is, whether it's an R32 or R34 or Supra or whatever, he will break it. Okay, so he is just getting hate. But he's not, I don't think he's acting like something he's not. I don't know. Isn't that what most rappers do? Who cares? Who cares? Can't hate. He's making money. See, the problem is that right there. Right there. I don't care by whatever means I make money on, even if he messes with, is a net negative for the culture. You learn nothing from it. People emulate that culture and kill your racing hobby, basically. And you're like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? He's making money. Well, people like you support that. And then when you find out that your hobby has been co-opted by Deedle Derps, at the end of the day, you're going to be like, do I want to be in that culture? Do I want to even mess with that hobby? Cool Chop the Builds don't like the Hick channel. He must be loaded because he employs 3+ mechanic. Go ahead and play these soundboard clips of that culture for us, Alex. Context, of course. No different than an actor. See, a lot of people are giving him an excuse. They're giving him an excuse. But you know Blue Thunder. You know Blue Thunder. You're one of the guys that said yes. I guarantee you said yes. Car culture is filled with people that don't bother to research or understand what's going on. Jessica Barton wasn't that bad. Supra or the Barton twins. What is it here? Oh my God, facts are not fucking hating. I don't know what you're saying. So yeah, context, please. So you want to know what? You want to know what caused meats to go to shit? Cars to go to shit? Stupid builds and cloud chasing? The leaning into cloud chasing and hick car culture, in my opinion, contributed to this stuff. How many times have you seen people emulate some of the stuff he has done just for clout? Like skeleton builds and stuff like that, just for clout. But then you get a guy that knows a lot of stuff. Not me. I don't know anything. But then you see guys that, you know, are building cars and do really good work and clean work, and they teach you things, and that guy gets 3 views. What are you gonna do? Never said an actor was a good thing. Yeah, but nobody knows what the fuck your intent is with text. Thank you, Joe Swish. The context. People think I know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're thinking. You can't hate. He's making money. That's the context. Exactly. Well, you can't hate on him, Alex. He's making money. So are these car chicks. With their ass out. Stop it. Yee all over the YouTube channels, right? I can't watch a YouTube channel without them trying to reference that clout. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm out. All I can do is say, I'm going to try to influence people in a certain way. I'm not going to get as many views. Yeah, I'm not going to lean into the culture. I get it. I'm going to build cars in my 1-1, in my 3 garages, and I'm going to see if I can go H with this guy, build an analog Coyote, race Collier, the twin turbo Corvette is taking shape. The twin turbo Coyote Swap Corvette is taking shape. Am I sticking the turbos out of the hood? Am I sticking the turbos in the trunk? No. It's going to be like engineered in a very nice, clean way that I can show it off in. So this is a huge undertaking, big money, you know, so I'm trying to invest back into it. So I'll give you guys an update on what's going on with the Corvette. I'll give you some new pictures that were sent to me by Ryan Eckhart of Low Profile Fabrications. Right? We got the hot side, the exhaust made it up to the stock shit. Okay? We got piping. We got piping making its way down. So they actually asked me, Alex, what is the lowest point of the car? I said the side skirts. The side skirts are made out of carbon. That's the lowest point of the car. And maybe some of the front parts. He goes, okay, no problem. We'll make the pipe, the exhaust, you know, under the frame area and bring it out to the back. And, you know, he sent me some pictures of this and it is beautiful. Right? So, yeah, could I have shoved the turbos in my asshole and gotten clout that way? Do you think I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars to clout chase? No. I am building what I think is a better motor in a very light chassis, and we're going to shove twin turbos in it. That's what I want to do. And then if Jake eventually can say, dude, we got the bell housing figured out. We got the motor mounts figured out. We got the clutch spacing figured out. So flywheel, bell housing, motor mounts. And if Ryan is like, bro, this I could duplicate this kit. That kit can go into anything. I could duplicate this kit. Well, there could be a product there. You know how many C6s are around? An insane amount of C6s. Now, notchbacks are very popular because they're light and configurable. What if the C6, because there's so many of them, narrow body and wide body, you start saying, I'm a Ford guy, I would never buy a Corvette, but then you're like, well, I could put a Coyote motor in there. If Power by the Hour develops a flywheel, bell housing, and motor mounts, slides in, we got to figure out all the other stuff. Again, sorry. Thank God you didn't go to Cleetus route with the YOLO stick, Alex. YOLO served its purpose. This version of Alex is way better, educational and still entertaining. I did not want YOLO to become a thing. And you know when I noticed that? When I started working for VMP and I started going to PRI and I started going to these events. The type of people that loved the YOLO culture were not my people. Sorry. And I thought to myself, do I want to continue this? Do I want to lean into the YOLO stuff? Do I want to lean into this? Because I could probably make a bunch of money. I could probably get a bunch of clout. But I'd be living in this world of an uncomfortable character that I don't identify with. And then I'd have to basically put up with people that I don't want to put up with that love this character. And I said to myself, no, let me just go back to being a normal dude, educational as much as possible, funny as much as possible, let the YOLO stuff die. And I did. And yeah, maybe the channel could be making way more, generate more revenue, but then I'd be living in a lie, dealing with people going, yeah, well, flip your hat, bro, flip your hat. Corvette's going to be tight. You almost didn't know it had turbos other than the sound. Yeah, no pie cuts. Thank God, no pie cuts. Thank you, Terminator. You're the last YouTube channel that isn't a car giveaway or acts like a clown and is always real. Not afraid to call people on their BS. Thank you for that. And again, I'm not doing it to be righteous. This is me. This is me. This is how I talk to everybody. This is how I live my everyday life. I am not acting. I am not putting up a front. This is me. When you see me, this is how I'm going to talk and interact with you. Genuine. And I'm not going to generate money on giveaways. I think giveaways are fucking stupid. But you guys, I'm going to win this car. So I'm going to buy a bunch of parts I don't need or want. I did it. And I'm like, boy, Alex, don't you feel stupid? Absolutely. I see the Steve Morris shirts and the Steve Morris hats. And I'm like, you are an idiot. But at least I learned from my ways and said, never again will I give in to a giveaway car, because all I'm doing is making them $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a pop. I'm contributing to the bullshit. LS7s drop valves. They need engines. Yeah. So if I can find a roller, I know I say this all the time, and then I'm like, oh shit, then all of a sudden I have 8 cars. If I can find a C6 roller, whether Grand Sport or Z06, I'd pick it up. And I know they're going to be like fucking 30, high 20s with no motor. I do it because, oh good, the motor's out of it. Perfect. Or the motor's blown up. Perfect. I think that's why Jake was calling you. He figured that shit out. I would absolutely buy a PBH Coyote Swap kit. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. I don't know if that's a yay or nay, because nobody knows what you're thinking and nobody knows if that's sarcasm. I don't know if that's sarcasm. Your 01 is definitely going to hurt feelings once it's ready, and people just hate for no reason because they can't build anything. If you looked at the dually Fox body, let's say you're an LS guy, right? Or LT guy. If you looked at the dually equipped Fox body and thought, hell yeah, thinking outside of the box, hey, it works. And then in the same breath, look at my Coyote Swap 01 and go, what a dumbass. You could have gone way faster with a LS9. You got some soul searching to do. Cleetus fans will be like, put the LS9 back in and let the bald eagle scream, brother. Can't wait to see the 01 ripping. That car will hurt feelings. Again, it'll be a version 1, stock motor. See what it does. Shake it out. Clutch needs this, needs that, blah, blah, blah. Then the next motor will probably be the Illuminator that I have in the garage with a set of Gen 2 heads, maybe GT350 cams. Dude, JJ. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like a clown. I amuse you. Y'all lying. Unsubscribe for them calves. Okay. German ice is dead. In UAE, my work PLC dudes buy a Merc. What the fuck? In UAE, my work PLC dudes buy Merc M177 V8 C63 to E63 tuned flash with all fuel meth to F. Wow. Says stage 4, blow up, then order another motor, do same shit, and repeat. Cool Habibis. Because can anyone translate what the fuck he just said? Only an LS guy would do a dually and not a Coyote guy. I did come in late, but dually Fox body? The fuck? C5 vets are everywhere cheap. I would do a C6. I don't like the C5s. C601 versus Z801. Who would win? What? Well, I've seen C801s beat up on 1,000 horsepower GT3 turbo S's. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Again, from a roll. Quarter mile, if you run 9.0, you're probably going to beat a ZR1. But on a roll, tough. I'd love to have a Coyote Corvette just to piss off my GM-only buddies. Again, I wouldn't do it just to piss off GM-only buddies. Think about it this way. You have a notchback that can handle. Right? You Coyote swap a notch, it's a straight line car. Unless you do all the maximum motorsports goodies, and it still won't handle as good as a C6 Corvette. So let's say, for instance, you get yourself into a C6 Grand Sport, a C6 Z06. 01s are tough because they're going up in value now. So let's say you get into one of those and you can shove a 500 horsepower Voodoo in it, or a 500 horsepower Coyote in it, meaning Gen 3, worked up heads, worked up cams, good intake, Cobra Jet intake. NA. And I go, I get it. You can make more power with an LS7. I get it. I understand. But who gives a fuck? I now have a high revving, great handling, good brakes, low 3,000 pound vehicle. I don't know. I think that's good. You don't have to worry about LS anything dropping valves. I don't like the stock computers. Let's be honest. The operating system for the C6s sucks. It's not great. You can't rev high, and if you want to go fast, you got to put Holly shit in it or whatever. Honestly, I know, this guy went this fast with a stock computer. Right. With 10,000 pounds of meth going through it, a solid roller situation. Doesn't matter. I'm good. I will take an absolute Gen 2 swap operating system on a C6 with a Gen 3 or Voodoo motor in a C6 Corvette and live a happy life with a nice handling car that revs high. He said the Arabs would blow up C63 MG motors and would never change anything and keep blowing up crate motors. Yeah, interesting. Mercedes don't pass the test. I think he's asking your 01 versus a C8 01. I don't know. C8 has more refinement. I guess we'll see. I'd have to see what the 60 to 130 would be in my car, right? Again, who knows if I put it all together and it runs like shit, meaning the geometry isn't right in the drivetrain and needs a bunch of work. But if that car gets shaken down and all the bugs fixed, and it doesn't run like a low 460 to 130, I failed. Eat some salt for breakfast, dude. Yes. I thought you get more crap for coyote swapping the G500, but those LS boys are something else. The problem is when you coyote swap anything into a 4-valve, you instantly made it better. If you coyote swap Gen 2 and up, a Terminator, you made it better. If you coyote swapped anything but, let's say, a Ford GT, you have made it better. And they'll say, no, 4-valve and 300 CFM G4 supercar heads, and this guy runs 5s in the eighth, or in the quarter, sorry. And then I go, cool. In real-world application, it's smaller, revs higher, makes more power. Writing in all caps rules. The Corvette is the natural progression of a performance Mustang owner. If I remember correctly, LS computers have a hard limit of 8,100 RPMs. Thanks, Minibag Madman. Thank you. So Minibag said, take a Tylenol. And what else did he say? He said, Arabs blow up C63 AMG motors and never change anything and keep blowing up crate motors. Got it. I don't know what he said. I was like, what the fuck did he just say? Let me go see it again. In the UAE, my work PLC. Oh, place. Was it that hard to put an A there? My workplace dudes by Merc. See, Merc, I'm thinking Mercury boat motors. M177 V8. I literally thought he meant like a Merc, like a boat motor. But then he said C63 to E63, and I went, what? Oh, so it's Mercedes? Yeah, I'm good. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. If U350... If you 352 swap a New Edge, it becomes a unicorn. I think, Turvey, people like that exist more than you think. People that swear to God that a 352 thing that he read, let's say he absorbed everything he read in magazines. And he's like, yeah, I think a 352 would be just so badass. I'll build my own headers. I'll build my own body kit. I'll make myself like a high end, like a think of it like a Celine, but better, like this. And then and then what he ends up building is a small block Ford, 8.5, right? 8.5, low cubic inch small block Ford with a carburetor. I'm like, all that shit you talked about, 352 and engineering this and this and this and that. And you ended up putting a basically stock 87 to 93 Mustang motor in it with an air gap intake and a carburetor. Stop. Think mid-engine might be the difference as far as grip, but power to weight may be Alex's advantage. Well, yeah, you're right. Speaking of Ford engines, I wish Ford Barra Turbo was available in the US. Alex and the Lund crew would love them. No, we wouldn't give a fuck. Coyotes are better. Sorry. Barra engines. You guys are in love with a straight six Barra engine. And then you're like, boy, mate, you can make 850 horsepower. And I'm like, 850? Honestly, when you see all the stickers, it feels like hooligan is as much to blame for cars meet going to crap. So, car meets going to crap. Do you think people emulated the hoonigan crowd? Maybe. You could be right. The Turvey Standard Edition Mustang, exactly. Think that calm was crack and just plain lazy. Okay. What was happening there? Minibag was talking about the Tower of Power, old school inline 6 2-stroke. Oh my God. German Ice is dead. Oh my God. Here he's back. In UAE rare to get knowledge, bro. I try to learn myself, bro. M177 and 156 is all good. Are you Arab? Thanks, Joe Swish. That's what I meant. 352 boat motor in the slowest cabin cruiser I've ever been in. I could fucking swim faster. Hoonigan made shoes. Go to crap. Okay. Today we talked about Car Girl being the most egregious freaking catfish in history, where that guy called out Bria. She deleted her account. Apparently she got so embarrassed she deleted her account. We also talked about the dually notchback no prep Mustang. We talked about no prep emulating 60s drag racing culture, whether that's a good thing or bad thing. It's just not something I'm interested in following or anything at all, but it is interesting that it's emulating a lot of the past stuff that drag racers tried in the 60s. Today at about 6, I have a Cadillac update. Somebody asked the other day to make a 110,000 mile Cadillac update, what I think about it. Very general video, me mostly talking, showing you the Cadillac. Still looks good, still drives good, giving you the pros and cons of what I've experienced in about 30 to 40,000 miles of owning the Cadillac. It's mostly editing, you know, just good B-roll stuff, just me talking and stuff like that, talking about the Escalade, whether it's something I would definitely recommend in the future. I think you guys will like that video. And then if it's dry out there, I might go out there in the GT500 because I bought a 2.8 grip tech pulley. The 2.7 is just spinning and I couldn't get it to grip properly. And we'll see if the 2.8 pulley does a better job of maintaining boost on the GT500. If not, we got to go 8 rib and figure that whole situation out. Have a good rest of your Sunday. I'm off to the gym, do my own thing, get some food, have a good normal Sunday over here. And maybe if the weather cooperates, I'll finish some of the video on the GT500. Have a good rest of your day, guys. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for Talking Shit Tuesday. See you then. Bye.